A product disappears, a shipment gets delayed, a price jumps overnight. That's not random. That's manufacturing failing in real time. And most people never realize the system is failing until it does. You walk into a store, what you need is there. You order something online, and it shows up until it doesn't. And in that moment, you're not noticing the product. You're noticing the system behind it. That's when what was invisible starts driving outcomes you can't ignore. Manufacturing determines what exists, what it costs, and how fast it reaches you. It shapes healthcare, technology, energy, retail, whether you're paying attention or not. It's the operating system of the real world. And right now, that operating system is changing. AI isn't just improving factories, it's changing how decisions are made, how products are created, and how entire systems respond in real time. What used to be physical is becoming intelligent. What used to require reaction now happens before the problem exists. And when that changes, everything connected to it changes too. So the question isn't, what is AI doing to manufacturing? It's, who's actually in control of the system now? For decades, manufacturing followed a simple logic: lower cost, faster production, global scale. Labor moved, factories followed. Supply chains stretched across continents. Raw materials in one country, components in another, assembled somewhere else entirely. And it worked, not because it was simple, but because it was precisely timed. No excess, no buffers, no delays. A single part, sometimes worth just a few dollars, arrived exactly when it was needed. Not early, not late. The system had a name: just in time. And everything else aligned around it. Healthcare depended on it for critical equipment. Retail accelerated, technology scaled. Both optimized for efficiency, not resilience. Manufacturing didn't just support the economy, it synchronized it. But there was one assumption that no one questioned: stability. Because when everything is optimized, you don't see the risk until something stops working. A factory shuts down, a port backs up, a $5 semiconductor doesn't arrive, and a $1 billion production line stops. That's when the system reveals what it really was: not efficient, but dependent. So now the question becomes, who is in control when the system is not functional? Welcome to MarComTech-niques Podcast, a podcast about marketing communications and technology. We help shape future conversations by exploring ideas that shape mindset, management styles, business journeys that influence industries through thought leadership. I'm your host, Jacqueline Cremona. Manufacturing used to be mechanical. Now it's computational. Factories aren't just machines anymore. They're decision systems. AI monitors productions in real time, detects anomalies instantly, predicts failures before they happen. Before, systems reacted. Now they decide. A machine doesn't just stop when something breaks. It signals it early, adjusts outputs, prevents the failure from happening at all. Factories don't just produce anymore. They learn. And once systems start learning, control starts shifting. Design doesn't start with concepts anymore. It starts with constraints: weight, cost, durability, performance. And AI generate what works before humans even see it. Engineers are asking, what should we build? They're asking, what performs best under these conditions? And the system delivers answers, often designs no human would have imagined. What used to take months now takes days. What required physical prototypes now happens entirely in simulation. The role of the human changes, not removed, but repositioned. From creator to curator, from designer to decision maker. And when the gap between concept and production disappears, advantage shifts to whatever moves first. Automation used to follow instructions. Now machines adapt. They adjust to variation, learn new tasks, work alongside humans. This is where robotics change fundamentally, from execution to intelligence. Picture a production floor. Before, humans adjusted machines. They fixed errors, restarted processes, maintained flow. Now, machines adjust to humans. They flag issues before they happen, recommend changes, learn from human decisions. The role shifts, operator to orchestrator. Labor isn't disappearing, it's being redefined. And again, control moves from human execution to human-machine decision-making. Supply chains used to react. Now they anticipate. They forecast demand, reroute around disruption, rebalance inventory in real time. When disruption hits, the system doesn't wait, it decides. A shipment doesn't stop, it gets redirected. A shortage doesn't just happen, production shifts elsewhere. But here's the constraint. As intelligence increases, so does dependency, because now everything relies on a system making the right decision continuously. And when it doesn't slow down, it cascades. So again, who's in control? This is where it becomes visible. You order something, it arrives faster than expected, or it's out of stock everywhere. You start seeing patterns. Automotive production slows, not because demand drops, but because one component is missing. Healthcare system delays procedures, not because of staffing, but because equipment isn't available. Retail inventory shifts overnight. Certain products disappear, others flood the market. This isn't random, it's calculated. Demand is forecasted. Supply is adjusted. Resources are reallocated. But here's the problem. Most leaders are still making decisions as if the system is stable. That's where risk lives. This is where advantage is created. Not by reacting faster, but by deciding inside a moving system. If you are a CEO, stop relying on reports. Build systems that show you what's happening now. If you're a founder, stop optimizing for efficiency alone. Design your company to adapt under pressure. If you're an investor, stop tracking static metrics. Look for companies that can respond in real time. If you're on the board, stop asking what happened. Start asking how the system responded. Because once you understand the system, you don't chase it, you operate it. Manufacturing used to chase costs. Now it's prioritizing control. A $2 labor difference doesn't matter if a disruption costs millions. So production moves closer to demand, not because it's cheaper, but because it's more controllable. Automation reduces labor dependency. Proximity reduces supply chain risk. Geography isn't disappearing, it's shifting from cost advantage to control advantage. Manufacturing isn't linear anymore, it's continuous. Design, production, and distribution are no longer separate steps. They're synchronized. Factories adjust in real time, production shifts instantly, bottlenecks are predicted early. This isn't optimization, it's coordination. Less waste, less downtime, more responsiveness. And in that system, speed isn't the advantage, decision quality is. AI doesn't just accelerate systems, it removes delay. Most organizations are built on delay. Reports, approvals, layers. In a system that moves continuously, delay becomes risk. And when everything is connected, everything is exposed. So control changes. For CEOs, build decision systems, not reporting structures. For founders, design for change, not stability. For investors, prioritize resilience over efficiency. For boards, Shift from oversight to system awareness. Because resilience isn't optional anymore, it's structural. Manufacturing used to be invisible. Now it's foundational. But most people are still thinking in steps. That's the problem, because what's forming is a continuous system where data flows, decision happens, and execution adjusts at the same time. So the question changes, not how do we optimize steps, but how do we operate inside a system that never stops? Takeaway: CEOs build real-time visibility. Founders build adaptive systems. Investors identify responsiveness. Board members demand system-level insight. Because the winners aren't producing more, they're deciding better. And most people think AI is changing software. It's not. AI is changing the system the real world runs on. This isn't about factories. It's about perception, control, and systems. Because when systems become invisible, public interpretation becomes reality. And that's where public relations operates. Not at the surface, but at the level where decisions are understood, acted on, and trusted. At Isabela Public Relations, we don't just communicate what companies do. We position how they are understood inside systems that are constantly moving. We help leaders translate complexity into precision, so stakeholders don't misread critical indicators. Markets don't fill in the gaps with their own narratives, and decisions happen with alignment, not hesitation. Because in a system driven by speed and intelligence, misunderstanding is risk, silence is risk, delay is risk. So we build communication systems that move as fast as the operation behind them, aligning leaderships, markets, and perception in real time. Because the companies that understand this won't just adapt to the system, they'll define how it's perceived, acted on, and trusted.
Thank you for joining us on our podcast. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notifications, follow us, like, and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform.